Fuck, you're getting.
Okay, look, yeah, because I'm going to bring it
Welcome
back
to
to
another
the
Three Aficionados. Here we got the other aficionado in person,
What's up,
Daniel
everybody?
Ross, looking very spectacular. And then
Two
we,
episodes in a row.
That's
Two
right.
of us are together.
and
Yeah,
I'm the
that's
one
true.
who's with him, and then Peter's on the other end because we obviously never can get our shit together. But here we are talking about all things analog, cars, watches, and propping this computer up with sneakers. And we got to set the record straight. There's new updates from Watches and Wonders, and I threw things on Daniel's wrist, and it wasn't anything phallic. It was just watches. A watch. A watch. All right, let's get into it. We already popped it off without Peter. We got our Guinnesses. There is no sound, but maybe Peter can. Oh,
baby.
Oh,
That's a crispy one.
Cheers,
Ooh.
boys.
what are you drinking there, Peter?
Instead of the raspberry today, it's a wild rose velvet fog.
Oh, yeah. That's one of
Nice.
my favorites.
Yeah, it's really good. I feel like it's pretty common here in Canada, and I honestly don't know if you can get it outside of Canada. Probably not. Maybe you can. I have no clue, but if you can, it's a good one to try. Velvet Fog Canadian Wheat Ale. It's got a cool can for anyone that I can actually is watching the podcast. It's got like a buffalo on it. Super blurry right now, but
Disappointingly,
there you go.
I haven't been able to find it in Toronto yet.
Oh, really?
You know,
Well, maybe it's
A lot
just
of
an
other
Alberta
good
thing.
things.
it's the center of the universe, but it does not have wild rose. What's up with that? You clearly haven't been outside of Alberta, which you consider to be Canada, because I'm not sure if it's available in other places, but that's just an Albertan perspective. Anyways.
I've now silenced my
Peter,
phone.
You guys drinking it?
He's mad now.
Oh, that's the first time I've seen him tuck his mustache. You son of a bitch.
Oh no.
Oh, he's stroking it too.
This is bad.
This is where he gets out his pipe
This is really
and his
bad.
muzzle.
He's starting. Well, we even looked away for a second.
Oh man. That's
break...
as close as Peter gets to breaking.
You know what I say? You break eye contact, you lose.
What are you guys
I was
drinking?
being a dick, but what's on your wrist there, Peter?
What's
I
on
see
my
a
wrist?
glimmer of a little bit of swatchy.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't swatched the
I switched it around, by the way.
Did you?
I don't know if you can see it or not.
Oh,
Hopefully it doesn't look proper
inversely.
because it's on my here. Let me just take this
Right
off
on.
for anyone who's looking. But there you go.
This is
Dope.
This is the Alaska.
Looks so
project.
much better reversed.
This is the Mars Alaska project.
Yeah, the Mars Alaska project for no one looking. I switched the bracelet around because for some reason I don't know why, but they put it in my personal opinion, it's like the backwards way. Like generally, most of the time, the clasp is up to the top, like with NATO's. So
Tornadoes, yeah.
I think it looks much better this way, and for some reason, it seems like it fits a lot better on the wrist too.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just like with the natural curvature of your wrist or what it is, but like when you wear it the other way, I find it just is like it makes it seem much more bulky.
Mhm.
But when you wear it this way, like it just kind of conforms to your wrist better.
Yeah.
And it it maybe sticks out a little bit on this end, but I personally find it just looks so much better.
So are we going to get like a mass purchase of Horus straps? Now that we've got
I do like the red strap. I definitely would be potentially interested. I could see it livening up the watch because I really honestly don't love the white strap on this. So yeah. I potentially would be interested for sure. I can't remember what they go for though. Aren't they like an arm and leg?
Yeah, they're like as much as, if not more, than the Moonswatch.
But it makes it look so much better. So potentially could be worth it. I feel like it would be a fair trade for it.
If it's your primary driver, why not?
I could wear it at.
Are you going to buy wheels that are more expensive than the car?
Fuck yes. An idiot like me. Plus you can match your Liverpool scarf with it.
LFC all day, baby. Didn't make the Champions League this year, but
I just put this on afterwards though. Before work, I had on the mare. the the uh the turquoise John Mayer G-Shock for anyone who
Oh yeah.
Very
doesn't
nice.
know. But yeah, that's honestly my primary work watch. I wore the Field Medic the other day, and it just the G-Shock just fits so perfectly. Like
Yeah.
you never ever have to adjust it. It stays in the exact same position the whole shift.
I gotta say,
And
it's my favorite of the three mayors. I've got two of them. I don't have the
Yep.
white one, but you had issues with it being like kind of patinaed. It was like starting to get a little bit worn, but you're
Mm.
pretty rough with your watches.
yeah, see, I'm quite rough with my stuff, but
Lots
it
of
patinaed
buzz.
very quickly. I found in the beginning, and now it's kind of just stayed the same. Like I honestly do not even understand because I don't even think I've worn this thing out, and it's already got scratches on the crystal, which doesn't even make sense. Like this is like no offense to Swatch, but this is some shitty material you guys are using for your crystal. Because I have no other issues with any other watch crystal I have being scratched.
Peter, I
Other
was
than
gonna
these
tell you
two
that
watches.
Swatch is gonna be our new sponsor, but now you just fucked that, didn't you?
Well, sorry, Swatch.
We're gonna have to go back to Manscaped.
I'm really
I
just
don't
boner
understand it.
pills.
It's ridiculous. Like I can see so many scratches already, and it's like I
It's
don't
patine.
even know why.
yeah. That would
But
sad.
If you rub that watch against Daniel's watch, your watch would just disintegrate.
I thought you said about against. I thought you were gonna say against my beard.
that's what I was thinking for a second too. But
You rub
what
it
do you
against
guys
my
think?
beard, that's gonna just disintegrate. But no, you're right. My gun would. My watch.
Your
is-
gun watch.
my, scratch that. We're gonna edit that part out.
No,
My
we're
watch
not.
that is like a gun. I would be afraid to wear it near that watch.
This? Oh yeah, me too. I wouldn't even be scared to wear my Tudor near this.
To the thing and have a verbal discussion of what it is.
Is that my turn now?
I mean, that is the media.
All right, welcome to media. So we've got my Victorinox dive watch here that was previously owned by Mr. Yip. I'm gonna call him Mr. Yip this time. Piss him off.
Eh.
I have a PhD.
No, I don't.
So this is the Victorinox dive watch, which is a hefty piece here. I don't know if you can hear it jingling.
I'm getting
jangling.
very concerned for my
But,
laptop screen right now.
It is in. It will never break.
Yeah, but my
It'll
screen
never
will.
break. No.
And
And I think the craziest shit here is it's water resistant to 500 meters.
I tested it
Does
out.
Does that beat what you're wearing, Steve?
Yeah, but I have a feeling that like the loom would fall out in 500 meters. How about you put
The
this
loom on that
inferior technology on your wrist here?
That one.
This one's Daniel's double wristing time.
Well, it matches it must be a gift. It
Ooh.
matches so perfectly.
Well, I am
So we
I am giving, but not that giving.
Steve did go out of his way by a lot to come hang out. So thank you very much. That is a gift in itself.
Well, you're putting.
I like the little pouch. It's cool.
I'll let Steve pull it
I
out. of
put
the
my little
for
pouch
us.
into Daniel's hands.
Oh,
Oh, it's hard.
it's tight.
Oh.
Are you done?
Do you want to take it off the card?
Oh, is this my turn here? All right, yeah.
I think you
sounds
could
good.
It
do it.
is chunky.
Even-
Hey? It's almost probably as chunky as the bronze, if not chunkier.
Well, it's got the whole GMT movement. We're talking about the Tudor Pro that Daniel is using with the camera.
Yeah.
Forgetting that this is a podcast
Trying to-
primarily.
Well, you're talking.
Oh, yes.
You're doing the talking. So I'm trying to show off this beautiful dome.
Mm.
Oh, look at that.
Tudor Pro Dome.
That is a selling point for me.
It's a thickie.
Oh my god, it's so sexy.
Yeah, I
It
think
is a beautiful watch.
definitely grown on me. It's good. It's been my I'm in a sketchy zone. I'm gonna put this on my wrist while I try to go under the radar with my watch that I really don't want to lose. But this is also a watch that I would really hate to lose. I've been waiting for a year for it, and I gotta say it's a great daily driver.
What you could do though is just take it off, right? And in the process, you will inevitably cut your finger on the clasp.
Yeah, that's something that I'm noticing with this this clasp. It's got the Tudor Shield. It's the new
Oh,
Fit clasp, and so that fold over clasp is new compared to the Black Bay 58, and the shield actually is pointed and when you have weak hands, just weak disposition generally, like me, then you just actually gouge your finger sometimes. You rip your fingernail and I was going to say toenail, and then you rip your toe or your finger, whatever you plan on doing to open the clasp. And right now, for those who can't see, Daniel is putting it on his toe. No,
That's my
that is a huge
that
toe,
is
sir.
my toe. You
Uh-huh.
should see the other ones. You should see my big toe.
We're talking about penises now, right?
This is so this watch, at first I wasn't 100% sold on it because in photos I didn't think that the bezel came across quite complimentary to the design. That, however, has changed entirely now that I've seen it on the wrist.
On the wrist.
Oh, baby. I don't want to pop this off.
Well, please don't pop it off in your lap, please.
I'm gonna go have some alone time if I'm gonna pop it off with this piece.
I think this is
So
kind of
straight
like
up,
the
you will cut yourself.
1655. Yeah. His hands are
Straight
not
up,
as
you
weak
will cut yourself.
and buttery.
I was a sailor. I got myself on a watch. Yeah, no, but my God, I think this is one of my favorite Tudors.
Really? More than the
Top.
58 and the Pelagos FXT?
I think this is like a top 2.
Yeah.
I think it's a top 3 for me.
You got to try the T-Fit clasp, or
Let's have a
as you
look here.
called it. I was
Demonstrate
listening
that.
to our podcast for the first time because I think it was probably our best one last time.
Oh yeah,
This one is clearly inferior, but as the what you called it, the Kegel clasp.
Yeah, that's right.
It is definitely not.
Ego class, yeah.
Yeah,
But it is the T-Fit clasp, and it slides, and you can see
It's
that
not the
slide
Kegel.
between these positions, which I'm gonna fuck up again. You
Oh,
can't
yeah,
really
break
see
it.
it. Oh yeah, and they
Yeah,
actually
good.
left a little bit of sticker. They're not allowed to leave the sticker intentionally, but they may have missed one. There's a little bluey.
love it.
Did you just blue yourself?
I'm about to.
Try it.
Ooh, that is. Oh,
Actually,
did
I
you read
watched
that?
It's a good yeah. It's a much tooly, more feeling kind of watch than what you get with a Rolex. But I mean, the Victorinox still feels like the gun that you cock.
This is the watch to break all watches.
It will break all the watches, and it will probably break part of itself while breaking those watches, but it will still have its main function
Yeah,
still intact. It might lose some lume, maybe a hand or two. Maybe the date function will pop off.
so the loom at midnight, as I call it, decided to pop right off within a very short period of ownership.
I also call it noon, depending upon the time of day.
Yeah, it's noon always. Noon or midnight, always one or the other.
Ooh, that does look really good. I remember why I love that watch.
This watch is sick.
nice looking watch.
I'm
It
trying
was
not to like
It
show
was
off
cool
all
with
the
titanium
books in
before
the house.
titanium was appreciated by Rolex and Tudor.
Yeah.
And I think that's the perfect transition. But we could maybe just let's skim over this. This is just a 116500LN no longer made. Yeah, I was going to say debunked, but it is no longer in production. As a result, it has been debunked from
Which
production.
means it's not in production.
Yeah, well, words. We've had Guinness, and
Words
it's been a
are-
long fucking day. But I'm gonna now share updates to tell us that I was quite wrong. This is randomly YouTube that's rolling. Please don't remove us from YouTube for rolling YouTube on this. The intent was to actually show the new updates on Watches and Wonders, and the next intent was not to actually talk about this one, but to talk about this one. This is the titanium Yachtmaster 42, and it looks pretty dope. I think we were actually predicting that this would be an Explorer, but it turns out the Explorer just ended up being bigger than the prior Explorer that I have. The 36 went up to 40, and I'd say the 36 is the purest one. I would have preferred to see this configuration on the Explorer, but I think they actually pulled it off really well. The titanium looks really, really good, and I would actually not say no to this. I think the bezel, when you see it in person, looks really cool because it's like kind of rubbery, ceramic-y looking. And it just, some have said that this is the most Submariner kind of thing that James Bond would wear nowadays. of all the Rolexes, and I don't think I disagree. This looks much more like a tool yet elegant watch that dips its toes in both. It would either be the Explorer or this, that I think you'd be a secret agent, but if you're going to be a little bit more elegant, this does seem like the main pick.
That last photo, that watch makes your wrist look like Daniel Craig. You put that watch on and your wrist suddenly is like, oh, that's the wrist of Daniel Craig.
I mean, the more photos I'm looking at here, I'm like, God, maybe I should be asking for this. But 42 is a little bit big for me. I don't know.
What are
I
the
do have
dimensions on
weakness.
this?
This is 39.
This is 39.
39.
So
But
to
it's
me, this
thick.
is perfect.
The dimensions, just the diameter is good. It's just I've learned that the height and the weight of it's a little bit bulky, but I mean, it is what it is, and that's kind of adding to the tool aspect of it. But we're now talking about the thing that is no longer on the screen, but is on Daniel's wrist.
Just using it for
the
reference.
The Black Bay
points.
Pro.
Thank you.
But yes, I would say that I would go for this, but it's not in my top 1 or 2 of the things that I'd ask for or beg for that I have already asked and begged for. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But before we depart that, go ahead and shit on whatever I have to say.
No, I'm going to say I like it, but I don't think it's beg worthy. Like, I wouldn't beg for this.
I think what sold you was seeing it on the Seaman.
Incredible, absolutely.
Once you see it on the Seaman.
Anytime you involve Seaman, I'm suddenly interested.
I knew he would go. Yeah.
Look at that photo.
That's the...
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Could you imagine being in that boat with all of those seamen?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Were you were a skipper? You're a second man? Number 1? Number 2?
I'd
First
say
mate?
I was the first mate.
First mate.
I mean, the boat I worked on was highly unregulated.
Unregulated first mate. That is how Daniel will always be. He will be my unregulated first mate. And Peter will be my, I don't really know if I should classify our relationship considering you are still my patient.
That's the kind of conversation that you never want to have with a person of interest romantically.
Especially when Peter is like fully sober on the other end and I can't even see his face.
Just don't know if I want to classy a relationship.
I feel like his mustache is furrowing a little bit. I think his parents are going to be like, you can't go to see that doctor anymore. We need to make a complaint to the college.
That guy's
God, I hope the college never sees this goddamn podcast. All right,
I love it.
The thing that I am begging for is not this, but it is this. It is the Platinum Daytona. I've had my name down for this for a little while, back when it was the 50th anniversary, and I was actually fearing the release of an update or discontinuation to the Platinum. I'd say that this, for the non-diamond dialed markers version, so the basic version, I'd say that this is an improvement over the 50th. The 60th anniversary Platinum Daytona still preserves that beautiful blue dial with the brown bezel and the sub dials, but I think that this actually goes to the one that is the diamond hour markers, which was actually without the sub dials being brown, because the sub dials have actually thinned out in actually like not taking up too much of the dial, and also the ceramic bezel has looked a lot thinner because it's actually like surrounded in the metal, which would be the platinum now. So I would say that that is all positive improvements. The negative is that the case has like more sharp bevels, I would say. Like it's more rounded on mine. You can see it on all 116500 LNs and the previous platinum. But what really sells this for me especially is the open case back. And people will shit on this being not like high polish, beautiful horology, but this still looks amazing. The gold rotor, I believe, is actually specifically extra fancy for the platinum, and it's only open case back for the platinum. And it's also gotten to be a thinner case height, actually. So overall, this is all positive improvements, but I would not say no to a 50th anniversary. Either one of these, I would happily accept.
Absolutely.
What I would say no to is, do I really need diamond hour marker new 60th anniversary? Not when the sub dials are still with brown, because the old sub dials were actually fully blown out and it was just the blue, the ice blue. I'd say that this is pretty much perfect. Like you just get a little tiny bit of the sub dial. I think it looks nice and retro a bit more than the outgoing 50th. But interestingly, the precious metals production of these doesn't get released out until September. So I wonder if there are a few that are like en route. I mean, either way, I'd happily take whatever I can get. I think this is the most hype of all of the things that have been launched. And then I, of course, would happily take another steel one. I think the steel is a new, interesting evolution. Would I want it in the black? I think that the black is really close to the old black, and I have that. But the white dial, I think that really when you see the sub dials, it really shows out the little Zenith vibes. But what would you guys say? Go ahead and shit on my dreams.
No, I'm going with Platona all day. The museum or viewing case back has sold it for me, and I think it's timeless.
And it's also the new movement, which has upgrades. I mean, it's still the same amount of hour preservation, and it's but it has multiple new advancements in it. So I think it's all kind of moving in the right direction. I think a lot of people don't really care too much about the movement, but I love the fact that you can see it, and that gold rotor is pretty dope. Also, you don't really fully see it in this photo, but there's a red Daytona text right here.
I think that there will always be people who will say that it's not one of the quote unquote big three. You know, it doesn't fall into the category with Vacheron Constantin or Patek. That being said,
or AP.
Yeah, I decided to leave them out because I know you have a thing for them.
I do have a thing for all three of them. But I mean, Vacheron has actively shit on me, and I'll happily say that on the air.
I'm sad to hear that. But I want to say that it is a Rolex movement is still say a lot.
Yeah.
And for Rolex clientele, that's all they need. They don't want their Rolex movement to be made by Vacheron or someone else. They want their Rolex movement to be made by Rolex, and they want it to be finished to a high quality, and they want it to look good. And it's accomplished all of those things.
It almost looks as good as you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
But would you take the titanium or would you take a Daytona? You know, not even with a value. I think you're the only person I can ask that without values considered, because I think you're more of an objective person than I am.
Well, for me, the open case back is the deciding factor.
Yeah, I know you're a big open case back boy.
I love more. It gives me more to look at.
I think that's now also your nickname, open case back boy.
Open case back boy.
Yeah.
Well, I think that Peter might have some kind of opinion on the subject.
What's your Peter opinion?
In hearing.
Speak from the mustache.
I quite like the new Platona. I think it's cool. I think the open case back is a neat addition to what they do. I don't think there's any issue with showcasing the movement. Like, I know some people may shit on it, but why not? Like, I think it's kind of a cool idea, and it shows what it's just kind of shows a nice picture of what's going on, and it I don't mind the diamond hour markers. I think they're kind of interesting. I'm not like a major diamond fan, but I think it's just kind of a nice subtle touch. And I also kind of think, like you guys were talking about, the metal around the outside of the bezel is also kind of interesting. Potentially makes it a little bit more hardy, but yeah, I like it. I probably would also take a Daytona over the titanium. I don't love the rubber bezel and the titanium. I just kind of looks a little odd to me, but
fair enough.
No, really.
Yes.
That's a hard line in the sand there, Peter.
Drawn.
Yeah. Sorry, boys. Hate to split the line there, but yeah, I don't love it. Honestly, I don't. I was kind of looking at it before. There's certain times I really do like the Yachtmaster. I think there's like the gold Yachtmaster on like the Oyster Flex is like one of, like, I've always really liked that watch, but for me, just I don't know, just looks a little. I think on Oyster Flex it almost looks better. I feel like with the rubber bezel and the Oyster Flex, it's kind of like a nice mix. There's a little like bit of like kind of just like collaborates together. but it looks a little odd. I find on the metal, or I guess in this case, titanium bracelet.
Mm.
Just find it looks out of the picture or out of context.
All right, I'll accept that.
I'm glad you're not just like jumping on the bandwagon and towing the line, because I do feel a bit like I'm just towing the Rolex line by being like, oh my God, look at this Rolex.
This is
But my God, it's beautiful.
This is the Platona 50th anniversary with the diamond hour markers. This is what I was getting at. So the subdials were actually fully ice blued out, whereas the non-diamond one actually had the subdials in the brown. Whereas now, when you get the diamond hour markers, you don't get the subdials fully blued. But I would say that again, this is just the right balance of blue now with the kind of like much more clarified and open dial, and the fact that there's like smaller hour markers. I think it just overall works, but I would happily take either. I think that Rolex can feel free to send me whatever they want. Yeah. Let's talk about the one that I feel like is most Daniel, because Daniel is clearly the most upstanding citizen here, the most classiest and the most formal individual, as you can see by the backwards hat.
Look at her outfits.
I mean,
by comparison, I mean, like, you're slow.
Clearly,
you are.
Actually, I mean, I've set the bar very low. So, but here, I think this is Daniel. This is gold with a black dial 1908 Rolex. So this replaces the Cellini. The Cellini is out. The 1908 is in. This is a nod to when Rolex got established in Geneva, when they left. I guess because initially were established in, I believe, the UK, but they had to leave. They went over to Switzerland or something like that. So they've basically said that is when Rolex started. And this was a nod to one of their earlier watches that came about later than 1908. So I don't know, we're jumping all around, but I think it's a pretty classy design. I think they're clearly going after a more formal, bespoke appearance, kind of something similar to like a Patek Calatrava. Would I take this over a Calatrava? Probably not, but I think it's kind of interesting, and it also has an open case back. Whereas the Platona was very shocking that it had an open case back. I mean, I think this really does fit and suit this watch, and I think it's 22 US, which seems like a reasonable price. But would you stick to the Holy Trinity, or would you think about deviating and going with this? I personally think that this gray dial in the white gold is actually the one that I'd go for. But I feel like you're a more classic individual with the yellow gold and the black dial.
I don't know if I'm more classy in that sense, but
more than me.
I think when I saw that, my first reaction was like, "Oh, that's pimping."
Which one?
Me, black and gold.
Yeah, I knew you'd be
like,
black
oh,
and gold.
That's pimping.
Well, yeah.
That looks so slick.
And look at the inside of the leather strap; it's green.
Yeah. So I think that the open case back is what makes the watch interesting. If I I'm just gonna be honest, anyways. I think it's just not that exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, it's a really nice watch, but it doesn't really do it for me. And like, for example, like, I don't know really if I would take this off and trade for that.
Really? You're talking about the Pro?
I'm not talking about
Pro 2 1908.
Talking about, like, this Tudor fits so nicely. Like the way it fits on the wrist. You say it's chunky, but to me, I've learned the true purpose of that Victorinox is you wear it for a while to make all other watches feel lighter. So you wear that for a while and you take it off and you're like, oh, this isn't heavy.
That's like wearing a Platona on the wrist.
Right? So yeah, this is like, weight training for the big leagues. I just don't know. It's a lot of money, and it doesn't make me excited.
Peter, do you get excited? Does your Peter get excited there?
Does it pop?
No, Peter, I don't really find gets extremely excited about this, to be honest.
The scale kind of goes from Daniel down to you and I.
It's cool, but like when you told me the price, I got way less excited.
Really? What did you think it was going to be?
I
It's a
No,
precious metal formal Rolex.
yeah, I guess.
They
I
can
don't
charge whatever
really,
the fuck they want.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't really know what I was thinking, but it just to me doesn't really jump out at me it being like amazing. I just for 22 grand, I feel like honestly what you said, Daniel, about taking the pro, I would probably agree with. I think I would rather have that than this. I feel like the pro would get way more wrist time for me personally. Like I don't know how often like I formal like for me I don't honestly even I don't really know how often I would wear a formal watch. Like maybe once in a while, like fair enough, but it's not like a huge like if I'm gonna do something, even like going out, I'll most of the time throw on something that's somewhat rugged because I'm not always the nicest on things per se. So
You not the nicest on
yeah,
shit bezel or what is it? Crystals. Yeah,
All he did
shitty
was
crystals.
take it in a box.
you know what's crazy though is I'll tell you, like the Tudor, if you look at it compared to like some of the other watches, is that thing has been through like definitely a couple beatings per se, and it is it like it looks fine, it looks great. That somehow the bronze just ages well. It's interesting, but I don't know. Unfortunately, gold I don't think has the same effect, and I feel like that kind of what persuades me away from the precious metals sometimes.
Well, I would say that my yellow gold John Mayer is going to age very well considering they just discontinued it.
Yeah, totally.
And prices are going to go nuts and flip
Oh yeah,
crazy, but there's so much sentimentality or sentimental value that I would say built into that watch that I just don't think I could ever let it go. If it were any other watch that got crazy hyped that didn't, like that will always be my grandfather's watch. Like I would happily, I don't give a shit what it would do to the values. I would happily engrave the back of it with his name or his initials
Face.
or his face. I was
Yeah,
thinking face
wicked.
initially.
Yeah,
I would
totally.
tattoo his face on my
You
back
should
before I
tattoo
think I
his-
did that.
You know what we're
before.
gonna do tonight?
Okay,
I'm
prison
gonna tattoo
tats.
his face on your
We
back.
getting hepatitis
Yeah.
tonight. All right. But here's what I think. I would prefer if prices were all the same, but I don't think that they are. I'd rather rock a Cartier Privé Normal.
Oh, you're getting hard into
So
Cartier
I'm
now.
getting hard into Cartier, and I'm like, this
I
is
like
the
it.
Daniel watch.
I'm so happy. You're
Look at
doing
this fucking platinum ass watch with the bracelet. The bracelet is so good. I wish that they released the regular tank must with this kind of a bracelet, but this is gorgeous, and they're only making very few. They're making it only in precious metal. It's very limited. I would much rather have this. This is just so timeless, and I would happily wear a tiny baby little lady wrist.
I
kind
think
of
Peter's choking.
thing. Choking?
I'm not joking. I'm just kind of shocked.
Choking on his mustache.
What do you want to say? I can feel you wanting to say something, like you want to go.
I just don't even know what to think right now. I'm just so shocked. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
What is happening?
Are you gagging at the fact that this is a lady's watch?
Peter's
And
like,
I'm
this is for old men.
I am an old man.
Ooh,
I've
what size
really
is
gone
it?
down the Cartier pipeline. Like this is so crazy to me.
That's the kind of watch you see on a guy's wrist where clearly the person is
Oh, that's cool.
strap is like sticking into their wrist. And they're like, I should have got a bigger strap.
I'm gonna grow into that.
I just can't believe it's platinum. Is it actually platinum?
Platinum. There's platinum, white gold,
crazy.
and gold. I think yellow gold.
Wow.
I believe there's a few variations. I think that so there's like bracelet ones, and then there's leather strap ones. I think it's platinum and yellow gold. But yeah, there's no way I'm getting them. They're all sold, and they're I think around 40 grand. They're based around the original 1946 or 1920, or whatever the original tank was, and they're only like a millimeter larger. Their hand wound movement, I think that they're pretty cool. Especially, I don't know about the yellow gold. I just really love this platinum piece.
Yeah, it looks good, platinum. Gold makes it look like an old person's watch.
But just
That's
make
cool
me
to-
feel good about not having this. Daniel, remind me that I'm okay.
You're okay.
I'm okay.
You're fine.
You know why? You know why I'm okay? Because I got the Cartier Tank XL.
Yeah.
coming in, and it has arrived.
I like that better.
Oh,
And I pick it up tomorrow.
I agree. The Cartier Tank XL makes me honestly more excited than this does.
Yeah, especially considering it's like an eighth the price. No,
Mm-hmm.
even less because we're talking Canadian versus American dollars. So, and
Okay.
also I'm trading an old Tudor that I never really wore that I feel sad about. Like I like seeing it. It's the 925 silver. It just never got any wrist time, so I traded it up towards the XL, and so that'll be at the next one.
Good choice.
Spoiler alert.
Excellent. Looking forward to it.
Does anybody else want to shit on this? Do you want to shit on this? A little
No,
bit? I
no,
feel like
dude.
you're kind of on the fence.
I'm kind of on the fence. I want to see it in person.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Two
That's a
times.
good pair.
It kind of looks like an old person.
Small as fuck.
I'm becoming old.
But you're not that old.
I'm
And you can sell
You're not.
to the elderly, but it's hard to sell old people stuff to the.
I do need the matching
know.
tweed jacket.
Yeah, you're not there yet.
That's the part that cracks me up is you just know how old the person is because of the jacket.
Look young, but,
Looks like my grandpa or something like that.
There's blood clots. Here's one that
Someone
makes
working
me
behind the
pass
scenes.
blood clots. I need us to all shit on this, but I feel like there's
I don't even
still
wanna
like
get
kind of
started.
like if I saw it in person, I think I'd kind of
No.
be like a little bit.
Look at those nails,
Damn.
beautiful.
I don't.
Okay, this is the puzzle day date for the audio listeners on the podcast here.
Yeah.
So it is the over described, over discussed love whatever emoji puzzle day date, which neither tells the day nor the date,
Mhm.
and has sapphire hour markers and has like enamel, I believe, dial. It is pretty technically nuts, but just kind of what the fuck? What the fuck?
But there's a lot of things that are technically impressive that are also just not attractive.
I would much rather have a rainbow day date than a puzzle day date. But this is clearly where they went fully like fuck it. Let's that sex Richard Mill. Let's do that, but like way worse.
Sure.
I mean, actually, maybe the sex
Yeah.
is worse. I don't
I
know.
mean,
Is it an
It's
RM?
more graphic. No, you at least know.
There's some that are. I think there's like.
I wish to caress you at awkward
yeah.
phrasing that
Yeah.
kind of whatever that is. Yeah, yeah. The
That's
sex.
an RM.
This one is these fingernails are very concerning. I feel like these doughy hands with the fingernails in this photo. I'm sorry for the audio people. It's very distracting. I feel like that's actually somebody who would wear not only this puzzle watch but also that Cartier that you guys have bought for me, by the way.
I think this is marketed to that like picture and
Hmm.
some kind of distant relative or great aunt who's super eccentric. Oh, I have a Rolex. Look at it. You're like, where the hell? Why did you buy that?
Mm.
But then you look at their entire outfit and you question them from shoe to absurd hat.
But the thing is that your aunt would have to have insane connections to get this. This is going to be insanely impossible to get and super hype the moment it hits a celebrity's wrist. I think that's going to be like, it's just I like to make conversation starters on my wrist kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that's a piece of shit on your wrist. What the
Yeah.
fuck is that?
I don't have much to say, so I'll let my watch do the talking for me.
I feel like it's the watch for the person who has every watch and just said
Maybe.
fuck it.
Maybe people just really fucking love puzzles.
I mean, I respect it kind of, but I kind of don't. I'm very torn.
I don't respect it.
Mm.
No respect.
I don't love it.
I mean, I think that I would rather go with the bubble oyster
Yeah.
perpetual, but I feel like this is totally like they were like pushing it with the oyster perpetual with the bubbles, which I'm not even gonna put
There
that
are
up.
so many watches out
There were
there
so
with
many,
this.
but I mean, like this is just like I just spent what would it be like 60, 70? I don't even want to look
It's
at the
too
price.
much. It's
Regardless, let's move on. Whatever.
It's dumb.
We don't like it.
Or
You know the price of the.
Bubble.
I was
This is-
gonna.
This is
ask.
Peter's bubbles. I want to
Yeah, I
know,
love
Peter,
this one.
did this ruin it or make it for you? Because you love the Tiffany 41. which you'll never get. But there's a
No.
Tiffany 36 though, if you really really worked hard. But they basically took that and then they chucked a bunch of the other colors from the other Oyster Perpetuals onto this, and they said, "What do you think?" And I said, "Gross." And Peter said, "Maybe," and I said, "Yuck."
I quite like it honestly. Like I usually don't love a ton on the dial, but for me this still has enough Tiffany on it that it hits home for sure.
You're a
Uh,
Tiffany boy.
oh, I don't know what it is, but like this is like it's not like it's not like I don't know. It depends on the person. Maybe it's like feminine for some person, but this to me is like the colors like not like extremely feminine, but like masculine enough that like a guy can still rock it. And I honestly I love the Tiffany
This is
color.
the watch that John Wayne Gacy wore, I feel like. This is clown murder,
Yeah.
rich clown murder, whatever this.
Yeah.
It reminds me of my childhood of having those weird balloons on your
This
wall.
is kind
with
of helter
clowns.
skelter.
I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's something medical. It looks like it's herpes meets clowns, and then they just like the Tiffany just went out far too many times, got a bunch of shankers on its dick.
I think that Peter is he's masculine enough, being 6'8"
Peter could pull it off for sure.
and 260 pounds of muscle, and being a paramedic. He's masculine enough to wear an outrageous watch.
260 pounds of mustache.
Mustache.
I
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't take this over the original one if that was like if there was like the toss up. But I mean, if you had to now, unfortunately, it's not like that one is available. So if like it was if like it, I don't know, I think for sure I definitely could rock it. But compared to the 36, like if you compare them to two, it would be a hard toss up.
Here's a scenario for you that won't happen.
Exactly.
Sorry,
Exactly.
sorry to shit on your dreams, but 41 Bubbles or 36 Tiffany. Which one are you going for?
I don't even know what 36 I feel like would look so small on my wrist. I feel like I would have to go with the 41.
Aren't our wrists pretty similar?
I feel like they are within reason. I would have to try on the 36 millimeter just to see it. I honestly have no clue.
You son of a bitch, you have better wrists.
Peter's saying this would be more like the cock ring for him than watching.
I just don't think I could.
If it was a cock ring, I feel like the Bubbles would be better.
I think you'd want to get that looked at.
Yeah. I mean, it would really suit it very
What
well.
are those spots?
Here's one that I feel like it would be Daniel all over. I don't know why, but this just strikes me as a Daniel watch. It's the return of the IWC Ingenieur.
It's almost kind of sounds like
French
engineer.
engineer. It is the return of the Ingenieur with integrated bracelet, kind of a reimagining of it. The original did not do anything for me. This is interesting, and it had me going, huh, should I go for this? And then I looked at the price, and I was like, nah.
Nope.
This is kind of like putting it into the range of, what is it, Gerard Depardieu? No, Philippe Dufour? No.
Are you talking like GP, like Gerard Perregaux or whatever?
GP, Gerard Perregaux. Wow, Gerard Depardieu. I like calling it. Le couteau Perregaux. This is okay. Anyways, we're gonna fuck this up. IWC Ingenieur with 3 different dials. I like the gray. I like the black. I don't like the white. It's got a textured dial. It looks cool, but then it's like 11,000 US or something like that. And I'm like, you're trying to make this a little too genta-y, a little too jump on the integrated bracelet group. But what do you think?
I'm not into
For you?
it, actually.
No, it's not for you.
No, I don't like it.
Mm.
No,
Well.
sorry. I don't like. I'm not big on the
Well,
dial.
fuck you.
I know that Peter just mentioned it, but there is a serious kind of waffle dial and hour markers and hands and all of that that strongly resemble another watch. And I don't know. Maybe it would be better in person.
It's trying to be an AP.
but that's yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
Just
rather
feels
have
like
an-
it's yeah. It feels
Yeah.
like it's a fake, even though it's an IWC.
It's a moon swatch for a Royal Oak,
yeah, yeah, totally.
but it's a very expensive moon swatch.
So then why buy it?
I'm not going to. Thank you.
Good call.
Okay. Then it's agreed upon.
Then it's
I
agreed.
shall not buy it.
Peter, are you gonna buy one?
No, I don't. It doesn't do anything for me at all.
Oh,
There's only like
Hmm.
there's some cool IWCs. Like they're not like my favorite brand, but they definitely come out with some cool watches in the past. But like some of the like the Big Pilot's so huge, but I really do like that watch. I think it's cool. But this to me just does not do it at all.
Wouldn't this look so wonderful with my tweed blazer? No?
No,
No.
no.
Okay. All right.
I just hate the five like the little screws on the bezel. It looks terrible because it shouldn't be. Why should it be five? It should be more if it's a circle. Like it doesn't make sense to me that it's uneven. It pisses me off.
For those who
Like
don't know,
an amount.
our prison name is Little Screws.
Little screws.
And that love is in a circle, not a triangle.
Exactly.
That ends. Love has no end. Circle.
It's a circle jerk.
So
So
what happens now?
now we say Steve has another stupid obsession, and it is called sneakers. So just because we're here, we're gonna have a unboxing. Since we don't have another watch to unbox, we'll have a real watch to unbox next time. This is a dusty ass Air Max Bubble, big bubble. Picked it up at the release of the new sneaker shop in Montreal while I was there on a meeting. I think it's pretty dope. I wasn't so sure
Yeah,
until
they're
I
fancy.
held it in hand,
They're sick.
and I'm like, yeah, I like it. I'm here for it.
Yeah,
It's all 80s vibes, and I'm good.
yeah.
And now I'm super dusty from this box,
Oh,
which
yeah.
I gotta say is actually kind of like my favorite part of it. The box got like the see-through, then it's got like the little dot. Where the fuck are the dots? The dots are right here. It's like to emulate the big bubble that's on the side of the big bubble. Mhm.
My favorite part about these shoes is the box.
And then our only follower said, "What the fuck? They're gonna talk about sneakers now?"
There's nothing more analog than a shoe,
Yeah, and you know, Yeah.
except for a sandal.
do you see how
that is
digitized
definitely-
these are? Not at all.
That's not made of electronics. Not at all.
Yep.
So,
Anyways, we've diluted the brand clearly.
I've had a great time though doing it.
I have had a wonderful time.
Yeah, that's
No.
right. Rolex, Tudor,
Dust-
G-Shocks, and Seikos, and also
IWC.
Megas and things. So many things we talked about.
Yep. Chains on the dash, dust on the lap.
The
We
Dusty
out.
Vodka.
Peace.